Hey guys, so it is 3 a.m. and I'm up because I'm just a little stressed out. I gotta go over to Home Depot tomorrow, and yeah. So anyway, I was doing more research into eczema and I came across this. So they said that molds can cause you to have look at this one. So you can have an allergic reaction to mold, and look at this. Other symptoms are nummular eczema, which looks like ringworm. Now, if you guys weren't familiar, the bathroom actually has mold. See that? Freaking looks terrible. It actually got worse, and I know it got worse last year because the freaking dehumidifier inside of the bathroom doesn't work. I think it's like clogged or something, and I know it had some kind of issue. Like it's not like it's not like it's full, but it just hasn't been dehumidifying. So I have to look at that, and that actually happened, if I remember, late last year. So coincidentally, when I started breaking out with skin issues on my arm, like remember I told you I started with the small patch. It That's around the time that the dehumidifier inside of the bathroom broke, and I just haven't gotten around to fixing it. It kind of slipped my mind, and yeah, tomorrow I gotta go and go to Home Depot, spray it, do the thing that I've been procrastinating on doing for about 6 months, and it only got worse. This mold issue. So yeah, I completely admit like it was completely my fault. So yeah, do that and then work on the freaking dehumidifier as well. And yeah, so I'm gonna spray it with this thing. Koku brand mold killer. This looks like so simple. A freaking 5-year-old can do it. I'm kind of embarrassed about how I let my anxiety get to me hard time. So I was thinking like, oh shit, I gotta hit it with Clorox or something, but I found out Clorox is actually not good to do use with this. And this thing, you spray it on, you let it sit for about 6 hours, and then it just dies, allegedly. That's what people say. See, so it's like they have it in stock. Um, it's about $10, and I don't know if you guys can see the pictures, but people say, yeah, you spray it, and then it kills it all at the root. And again, I'm really embarrassed that there's a very good chance that the mold caused this kind of issue. But remember, the mold was in the bathroom even before I moved here. But it was a much lesser extent. So mold is unfortunately airborne. I found out that they say if you disturb it, it can piss it off. And but yeah, no one else is gonna do it. So I'm just gonna hit it with that freaking mold spray. And hopefully I don't have a flare up, but if I have a flare up, fuck it. I don't really care at this point. I just need to get this thing under control. Um, yeah. And then the other thing too, so besides that, in case you guys didn't hear about this, what happened in New York, in freaking wonderful Brooklyn, a man hurls a Molotov cocktail at a police officer. And yeah, so this, allegedly, right? Allegedly. So cops in Brooklyn stopped the car this morning for running a red. Then they threw a chemical at an officer, and then stopped again. He threw a lit Molotov cocktail at a cop before fleeing. And then yeah, see more Molotov cocktails were recovered. Um, yeah, I feel like New York is getting more dangerous. I also looked at crime around our area, and I found out that, yeah, 14 hours ago, there was a report of a man attempting to stick people with a needle. And then, of course, there was another residential burglary. And when I talk about this stuff, this is all within 1 mile from where we live, okay? Um, Residential burglary, assaulting women, another apartment burglary, person wielding a knife, a fight, someone got robbed, another person got robbed. Yeah, about 20 minutes ago, some woman just got robbed of her purse, and I don't know what it is. Yeah, so I'm up right now, 3:10 a.m. I really shouldn't have. Baby should be sleeping, but I just really need to take a breather. Yeah, so Lewis was telling me, he said, Erica, do you think it's freaking New York that's stressing you out? I never had skin problems in Hawaii, but then again, you know, I had black freaking mold in Hawaii, and yeah, so I'm gonna take care of it tomorrow for sure. I'm tired of living with this kind of stuff. Even though, you know, even though it's not itching, it's like still my arm is like weeping like crazy right now. I have that other thing on, the antifungal. Unfortunately, though, it's spreading on my body. I actually think it's spreading on my hands now. I'm not too sure if that's just, yeah, if it's just a random white, red dot. But yeah, I got 2 dots on my hands, and then I also have a patch on my leg that's getting bigger. And yeah, it was like a tiny little dot, and now it's getting bigger. So I hit it with the antifungal, and I can't help but think like until I get rid of this mold issue, right? It could possibly just be getting worse. So if you guys look at mold eczema, where is it? Yeah, mold eczema reactions. Look at this, Better Health USA. See? The most reliable fire motors are accompanied by tiny blisters on the palm. Other symptoms are nummular eczema that looks like ringworm. So that was the one that I felt like I had. See this? This one? This one matches this freaking thing on my arm. So, see? So I have one just like this on my freaking leg right now. And I can't help but think maybe it's mold spores. And you might be thinking, Erica, why do you think it's all of a sudden mold spores? And I got to thinking, like, why is my skin getting worse? And you know, because I've been trying to like take care better of my health. I've been doing all these things. So it's what's causing it now. I have to moisturize my skin, right? And I've also been taking freaking soaps. And guess who spends like about 1 to 2 hours a day in the freaking bathroom sometimes? That's me. So I spend extended time in the bathroom because I have to like freaking soak, and then I have to moisturize and things like that. And I can't help but think like, yeah, me staying in the bathroom for an extended period of time, if there's freaking mold spores all around, right? That's not doing me any favor. So that's why I'm kind of thinking maybe that's what's causing the flare up. The fact that I'm inside of the bathroom. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, see? Like this is really mold. Do you see this? Like you see it's on the freaking ceiling, it's on this part and this part. It got worse because we had a dehumidifier. It broke last year. I don't really want to say it broke, but it just stopped working. And I was gonna look at it, but I just got lazy and I forgot about it. And I was like, okay, whatever. The freaking thing's open, and I didn't really pay attention to the top, and the mold just got significantly worse. I was like, frick it, you know, this building is so freaking old, whatever. And yeah, this is what happens when you let go of this kind of stuff, right? The mold gets worse. Then I find out freaking mold is airborne, which I didn't really know. And yeah, you can see like you can see like even on the ceiling around the patches is starting to get mold. And this is just because I wasn't on top of it at all. So I'm going to have to treat that. And like I said, I see it kind of like my punishment. Like this is what happens when you're not on top of the mold, and I caused my own issue, possibly, right? And if the punishment of this is I break out in a really bad flare up because I sprayed the mold, like I don't really care at this point. Like I just want this thing to be done with. I don't care if how bad it happens, like how bad a flare up happens if I spray the thing, or you know somehow some more mold gets on me. But I'm just really frustrated about this. Yeah, so I'm already using an antifungal cream. I'm using that clobetasol or something like that, 1%. And we'll see how that works. So I'm moving forward, right? I mean, I can beat myself up about this, and I can get pissed off at myself, but at least I'm moving forward about it. And if you guys have any freaking black mold, I'll let you guys know how this thing works. And I know how it sounds like I'm talking about to myself, like, Erica, you're a freaking idiot. You possibly caused your own eczema. And yeah, I just hope that if anybody has a mold issue and they haven't been taking care of it, I'll let you guys know how this thing is. So I think all I'm gonna have to do is just take everything out of the bathroom tomorrow, spray, 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 and then let it sit for about 6 hours. And then, yeah, there's no fumes in there, so I don't have to hazmat it out or anything like that. But I will wear goggles and I will have a face mask on, just in case. And then, yeah, spray it and come back in 6 hours, and hopefully it should be dead. And then I'll put everything back inside of the bathroom. Yeah. Um, yeah, stress causes eczema. Yeah, but I was kind of thinking, like, what the hell is causing my flare up? And the fact that it just like rapidly started getting worse, right? Coincidentally, it's the time that I started doing more of this stuff, and I'm spending more time in the bathroom applying all this stuff in, putting mask on it and hydrating it. I feel like I just kind of dug my own grave in that sense. And yeah, so tomorrow, we'll see how it turns out. Maybe in 3 days, all the mold is gone, hopefully, and then I can just resume back into my freaking normal life. Yeah, I feel like I lost out on time in my life over this stupid freaking mold. Yeah, it just really pisses me off about that. Yeah, I hope it. Yeah, thanks. I hope it. I have faith it's gonna clear up for sure. But it just sucks. But whatever, that's life. I can talk about this kind of stuff openly, but again, it's just moving forward. Life is not a smooth sailing, and I guarantee you, like, learning experience from this kind of stuff. If I see black mold, I'm gonna fucking hit it hard next time I see it, and I don't care. Like, spray, 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 or oversleep, spray it. I just want the thing to be gone because I see it. It's like it's taking away, good stuff in my life, and yeah. Yeah, I know. I need to go sleep soon. But it's just been on my mind. Yeah. It's just, yeah. It's just like the whole eczema thing. I know people probably get sick and tired of me talking about this, but I just, I really, like, I cannot stress enough, like, dealing with this kind of stuff, it really just consumed my life. And, I spent so much time looking at cures and so much time looking at skincare stuff and so much time trying to deal with the itchiness and the weeping. And um, I found out, like, even eczema, like, you can't even be too sure about it because people have flare ups and they. So, this is the whole thing about that, right? Like, what was it, 24 hours ago or so, I was telling you guys, like, oh yeah, my skin's clearing up, I think it should be okay. So the thing about eczema is that it goes through periods of when it's healing and then it flares up, and it's normal. So I can't even trust, like, okay, is this kind of stuff gonna work? You just kind of keep doing it and you hope that it goes away. And I have a lot of faith in antifungal, but I kind of think, like, man, it just kind of sucks. Like, I got to be on guard. Probably, like, I know this sounds really dramatic, but for the rest of my life, I'm going to be really, like, concerned about getting this kind of stuff again. So any black mold, if I feel like there's black mold around, spray the thing, put that as, like, freaking high priority, spray, spray, spray. Um, any allergens out there, any fragrance spray, any fragrance, um, yeah, non-natural fragrance, synthetic thing. I want to stay away from that because I feel like, oh, what if it makes my eczema worse? Like, I, I cannot stress to you guys enough, like, how much this thing really freaking changed my life. I don't want to do scented stuff. I only want to do unscented, ideally. I have to be mindful about, like, complications with essential oils, possibly. I'm worried about skin barrier issues. it's just like I feel like there's a huge difference in between how my life was before this and afterwards, right? It's like I can't even look at freaking scented products and be happy about it because now I think like, oh frick, what if my eczema flares up? What if it's detrimental to my health? What if I smell something, or what if it gets onto my skin and then yeah, it's just like the freaking hell on earth again, kind of thing. And it sounds crazy, but yeah, I can't enjoy like things like Bath and Body Works anymore. Um, I can't. It's like I see that and I just see it as poison. I know people would say that's really cruel for me to say, like, oh, really, Erica? Like some of this tropical paradise scent, that's not, that's a nice smelling scent. I would say like, yeah, it's great, but what if you end up with some kind of skin rash? What if you're actually causing damage to your health? Smelling this stuff and you don't think it's bad, but it has some kind of cumulative effect where it's screwing you over. You see where I'm getting at? Um, so yeah, it's crazy because it's like I see certain things and I just get really, I get really on guard. I get really agitated or really stressed out about it because I don't ever like when this thing clears up. I never want to revisit it. Like 100%. Okay. I wouldn't wish eczema or this kind of stuff on anybody. Not even freaking Eugene. Okay. Because it's just like it just really screws up your quality of life. And then you spend all this time trying to find a cure. And again, I think I'm really lucky because I look at this kind of stuff and I think like shit, maybe it's the freaking mold, right? Maybe it's the mold that caused that issue. Let me show you guys like this freaking stuff, right? This airborne stuff. And yeah, I'm dealing with the whole mental aspect of it where it's like I look at this and I know people are going to say stuff like, oh, Erica, how can you not treat this? Everybody knows how to treat this kind of stuff. But yeah, oh, okay, that serves you right that you cause possibly your own eczema because you didn't treat this early enough. Like everybody else would treat it, but why didn't you treat it? So I'm just being really hard on myself, I guess. Yeah, but it just eczema or like psoriasis or some kind of skin irritation, it's hellish. What you guys didn't know is that so I had a flare up on my chest, and even right now, I have about a 6-inch patch of redness on my chest right now. And I didn't eat any grapes. Yeah, that's the other thing too. So I'm just thinking like, frick, I'm treating with the antifungal again. I'm making sure that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And if anyone, hopefully tomorrow gets better, but it's like I look at this stuff and it's like, I don't even know what the fuck to change. Like, really? Like, what are people going to say? Oh, change your soap, Erica. I'm already on a freaking unscented, sensitive soap. There's nothing much I can else change. Oh, change your laundry detergent. My laundry detergent didn't change. And, um, I I really feel for people who have had like eczema, it's like for extended periods of time, like years, and I don't know how they would live through it. Because it's really depressing. It's really stressful to think about. And it's really depressing, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's holding me forward. And yeah, I'm just going through a freaking 3:30 a.m. phase where I'm just like ranting out about all this freaking stuff. And just feeling like a total idiot. But whatever, I'll feel like an idiot in like 3 days and I'll talk back at this and I'll just say, yeah, I'm such an idiot for not taking care of this mold and not fixing the dehumidifier. And this is what happens when you don't do certain things. Yeah, but I'm leaning towards the mold issue. The fact that yeah, I read this whole thing over here. Let me show you guys this right here. That is something. See? So yeah, I'm just not happy about it. I'm really not. But again, you can be unhappy, but if you do something about it, you feel less unhappy. Yeah, and I'm just sleep deprived right now, so it's showing. It's showing. Yeah, I don't know. It's just stressful to me. Um, and then yeah, the other thing too is I just think things are getting underneath my skin, and just like really small things. Once it starts, it doesn't stop without romantic. You know what? I'm thinking about hitting it with that, and then afterwards, I can put some kind of sealer on it so it can't go through. But I'm gonna hit it with that one spray, and then hit it with that one spray and first, and then see what happens. Because I know for sure it's gonna freaking die, right? And if it doesn't die, well, yeah, if it does come back, then I'll hit it with the spray, and then I'll hit it with the sealer again. The only reason why I'm hesitant about hitting with the sealer is because I think it's gonna cause some, maybe it's gonna be blotchy, like really blotchy. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so tomorrow in the morning, I'm gonna walk over to Home Depot, grab this stuff, and then pull out everything in the freaking bathroom, and then just spray, 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 spray. Yeah. Yeah, and then keep in mind, right? Keep in mind this is a freaking New York apartment, so sometimes it's like there's not going to be no freaking remodeling over here, right? It's just going to be like, yeah, there's going to be no remodeling. I have to kill this out myself, and yeah, keep growing in the walls till they start bulging. Yeah, I don't know. This is a freaking 100-year-old building too, in case I never repeated myself again enough, but it's an old building. It doesn't have fucking good ventilation in the bathroom. I always knew that, and it sucks. It sucks, but yeah, what can you do about it? Nothing. Yeah, so um, yeah, just. But I'm gonna be really optimistic about it and take it one step at a time, because if I don't try it, and then, I mean, like, if I try it and it works great, if I try it and it fails, then I'll escalate, right? At least I have like a battle plan at this kind of stuff. And yeah, it just, yeah, so we will see. We will see, we will see, we will see. I'm just really tired about it, and yeah, I just gotta move forward. That's all. I really just gotta move forward. Oh, for fuck's sake, really? So bad the shower wall in the secondary bathroom bulged out half a foot at its worst. Yeah, I think, I really don't think this is a leak. I really think it's from condensation. Um, but because the mold spores spread, right? That causes it to, yeah, that causes it. So I'm gonna spray all the black spots, monitor it every freaking day. Look at the ceiling. Yeah, I know this sounds crazy. Every freaking day, look at the ceiling, and if I see a hint of a black spot, spray it, because it's so much easier to do one spray rather than do a whole freaking large area, and then just be on top of it. And yeah, yeah, I feel like it. Like I said, I feel like I'm repenting for my fuck up. So that's why I have this whole eczema thing, and yeah, yeah. I'll laugh about it. I'll laugh at it. I'll laugh about this if this freaking thing clears up and everything seems much better after we treat the mold. And I'll say, "Wow, Erica, look at you. You didn't do shit, so you freaking ended up poisoning yourself." Basically, because yeah, you didn't treat the freaking mold, and yeah, yeah, I know I'm beating myself up about this stuff, and I know it looks bad, and it's like it's something, because it's like you see it and then you just block it out from your head, and then it's not until you take a really good solid look at it that you realize, like, wait a second, shit, that's like really fucking bad, you know? Um, yeah, I know I'm gonna spray it first because they said that that's supposed to like completely kill it. And then see what happens with that. I have hydrogen peroxide here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get it out from behind the wall. Yeah, if it is behind the wall, but I really just think it's moisture droplets. So hopefully that spray kills it. But yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't think it's a leak from behind the wall. It's just moisture that just went around and stuff. Because, um, like for instance, right? You guys see how it is around the window? Well, let me show you guys this shit. You see this? This is actually a window frame. So there's no moisture on the other side. See? So it's really just water from the condensation from the hot tub rose up, and then this is the shit that happens. And then it goes, and then it breeds, and it expands, and then it just turns into a really big fuck up. So, yeah. No, you know what? I mean, like, here's the thing. I gotta treat it because I can't run away from mold, right? It's stupid for me to say, okay, yeah, there's mold, and then you don't treat it and you just move somewhere else. You have to treat this kind of stuff. So I need to make that whole big effort to treating this kind of stuff. And I've heard people say, like, yeah, if you're breaking out with eczema because of mold, you really shouldn't be doing this yourself. But I really have no other option. And I don't want to be like a total crybaby about this. Like, I know I already sound like a crybaby talking about this. But yeah, like if I don't do it, what are you gonna do? Who else is gonna do it? Nobody. And then if you hire someone, they're gonna ask for an arm and a leg. They're gonna be like, oh, we want $3,000 for that. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. I'd rather take 3 days or 5 days of intense itching than pay someone frickin' $3,000 to handle this mold and do the same thing I have to do. You know? So, prominent right behind the walls, yeah. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. We'll see. We'll see. So New York, as you guys know, is a place where people rip each other off, and it makes me kind of bitter to think about that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, there's nothing. I know I sound like a bitter New Yorker over here, but there's really nothing good in New York. Seriously, there's nothing good in New York. Like I don't understand why someone would like want to move from another state to New York unless it was for like a job reason. But yeah, buildings are dilapidated or they're overpriced. People rip each other off left and right. People tend to be aggressive towards each other. You have people robbing each other. You know, all this fucking shit. And it's just, yeah, this kind of stuff doesn't happen in Hawaii. 100% this doesn't happen in Hawaii. And yeah, Louis was telling me, he said, Erica, do you think you being always on guard is good for your health? Do you think that's stressing you out? And I said, this is how fucking life is. Like, there's no way of going around it. I walk down the street. I have to be mindful about certain things. Sometimes people give me bad looks, and it's like, I don't even know these people, you know? It's like, what the fuck, man? Like, I don't know who you are. I've never seen you in my life. Like, why are you pissed off at me? So yeah, it's just like, it's not a good feeling. So, yeah, but you know, I know people would say, Erica, just toughen up. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Just toughen up. But, when it comes down to safety, that's what stresses me out a little too, right? But yeah, Louis was telling me, he says he wants to get out of New York, and I'm saying, then where do you go, right? How do you guarantee this kind of stuff doesn't happen? You can't. You can't. You hope it doesn't happen, but you can't. And then also, if you move to another area, how do you know how the people are going to be over there? You don't know how people really are until you've lived there for an extended period amount of time. And yeah, so the only place that I feel safe in, that I know that, yeah, this kind of shit doesn't happen is in frickin' Hawaii, but Hawaii is, you know, thousands of miles away on a little frickin' dot, and then housing there is so expensive as well, so, yeah, just, yeah, so, New York, again, you're all by yourself, it's not let me show you guys this shit too, hold on, there was a woman who was getting harassed. Let me find this. New York woman harassed. Here we go. So if you guys remember, I did a stream and I told people, I said, you know, if you need help in New York, you're fucking by yourself. Like 100%, you're gonna be by yourself. If anything happens to you, do not ever expect anybody to step in and help you. Shit, hold on. See this? Let me show you guys this. So I sent the link in the description. Hold on.
Lily Silk have a wonderful range of
for
things.
fuck's
They
sake.
have really high quality silk. They have clothes, pajamas, and bedding. Really wide variety of ranges and gorgeous, gorgeous colours.
Let me click on. So yeah, so there was some sort of anti-Asian harassment rally the day prior to this, and this came out 2 days ago. Okay, so this woman was getting harassed by a guy on the subway, and nobody helped her out except the homeless man, just one person. And I know what people will say, like, oh, okay, well, what's the big deal about it? The big deal is this. Usually when people think about others being in danger, they say like, man, if a woman gets in trouble or something like that, or if a woman gets pushed down, or if a woman gets harassed, and people will step in. But again, if you are in New York, if you can get beat up on a fucking subway and no one's gonna help you, right? If you get stabbed, don't expect anyone to help you. If someone beats you up, don't expect anyone to help you. You are really all for yourself. I really have such a cynical view about it. I think like if someone could get beaten up on the subway, on the inside of a subway around 50 people, and people are just gonna watch them die. Okay? Like people are gonna say, "Stop, stop, don't hurt them, stop." But no, everybody is such a fucking weakling. Like they're not gonna stand up to a perp. They're not strong. Like as much as people say like, oh, New Yorkers are strong, I find that to be bullshit. Like no, they just stay away, and then they never think about like power of a group like together to take down one person. Hawaii is different. Like Hawaii, like I don't know if I like ever linked you to this, but there was a theft that happened in Hawaii, and then they found out, yeah, someone a shoplifter ran out, and then there were people chasing after the freaking shoplifter because they wanted to stop them. Okay, so yeah, strangers banding together to stop a shoplifter. And in New York, it's like you get beat up in front of a whole crowd of people. People just like cry. They're like, oh, just stop, stop. They don't get involved. So this is like the kind of mentality where I feel like it's very real for a person without a weapon to beat up another person and possibly kill that other person in front of a crowd of people, and no one will ever fucking step in. You see? So I keep that kind of stuff in my head. So when I hear about all this stuff where they say like no one helped, it's like I figure like, yeah, this is what happens when you live in New York. You have to be on guard about this kind of stuff. And it's in the back of my mind, especially because I'm a woman and I'm Asian, that yeah, I can be a target of theft. And what happens? What happens if one day something happens to me, right? What do you do? Like nothing. You pray that person goes away. And even if you're around 50 people, like don't expect anybody to step in. Even, yeah, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I went to one of the community fridges, I think it was like last year, and then I went to check it out, and I opened the thing in upside, I opened the fridges, and then I saw like a bunch of carrots, so I grabbed 3 carrots, I walked away, right, and then I looked, and right next to me a tomato was thrown, and I was like, what the fuck? So I turned around, I found out that this kid who was I think like 13 years old, and this other kid too had a handful of tomatoes, and the kid was like, oh, you took everything in the fridge, and I called him out on it. I was like, what the hell? I basically told him like, what are you doing? You're being so disrespectful. You can't throw tomatoes at people, right? And then they just didn't give a shit. The kids didn't give a shit. And then I turned my back. They crossed the street. They pelted us with more tomatoes. Not just me, but it was another woman too. And then there was a guy um, right next to me, probably like a couple feet away from me, sitting on a bench. The guy was freaking athletic, okay? And the guy looks like he could run faster than me. He's taller than me, and he didn't do fucking jack shit. I mean, like, I know people would say, "Whoa, Erica, well, how come you're putting the thing on the guy to step in?" Okay, here's the thing. Like in Hawaii, if someone who is like younger or weaker or, a female or something like that, like people see that stuff, they're gonna step in. But in New York, it's like, oh, okay, woman getting tomatoes thrown at her, just keep your head down. Don't do anything about it. Don't get involved. Even if it's freaking two kids that are obviously don't have weapons on them, they just have a bunch of tomatoes. Yeah, they don't do shit. So it's like I look at New Yorkers and I know people will give me so much shit about it, but I don't have a lot of respect for like New Yorkers in terms like I don't think they're gonna do shit. It's like everyone is just so kind of fucking selfish, and it's not like the Hawaiian mentality where you help each other. This is why New York is going down to shit because people just like they just care about each other, and then it's just so fucking divisive, and yeah, people are like it's like stupid. It's stupid, and then crime goes out of control, and then what happens? You got stupid fucking government policy where it's like, oh, okay, well, someone killed their mom. Oh, well, we'll just like release them. We'll give them lifetime parole. You see? So it's like you reward criminals. You see? So it's just sickening. It's fucking sickening. So yeah, I know people who are New Yorkers are gonna give me this shit and be like, how dare you talk about New Yorkers? New Yorkers are great. Like bull fucking shit. Like New Yorkers are not gonna step in to help other people. Okay, they're gonna go to these fucking rallies, talk about anti-Asian stuff, but when an Asian gets attacked, in my opinion, they're gonna do jack fucking shit. Okay, you see? So yeah, it's like it means nothing, and I don't even, I know people would say like, Erica, why do you don't like the anti-Asian harassment rallies? I'm like, that doesn't do anything. It still fucking goes around, It's like it looks great, it looks great to hold a little sign and says, stop the anti-Asian harassment, but that doesn't stop anything when you see that fucking thing in front of you and you don't step in, you know. But yeah, so I know it sounds terrible for me to say it, but I kind of think of it as a joke. It's like, yeah, you need, if you want this stuff to stop, people need to come together and not just say, oh yeah, don't beat up Asians. They need to actually protect, or help other people. And I don't want to just like limit this to Asians. It's like if anybody is like getting picked on by another person, if they're getting beat up or something like that, like you have a people, you have people around you. If someone is like beating up someone else on like the subway and they don't have a weapon on them, and you got like freaking 15 guys on the subway, those 15 guys could freaking beat the living shit out of the attacker, but they choose not to get involved. See? So yeah, it's just like, oh, stupid. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, New York has this kind of mentality where you got people who are aggressive because I think that's all they know, and then they think like he or she who shouts the loudest, who just and they're like, oh, hear me roar, look at me, I'm all powerful, like I am great, and I'm just like, you're a fucking joke. Like this shit doesn't happen in Hawaii. Like I shouldn't say it this way, but I find like in Hawaii people are more civil. Yeah, people are more civil and they're kinder to one another and they're warmer to other people and they actually look out for one another. If someone's getting picked on, then other people band together and help each other out. But New York, it's like, yeah, man, you're getting beat up, man. It's just like survival of the fittest. Oh, okay, someone's beating up a woman. Oh, that sucks. Well, if they die, they die. It's just very like, oh, yeah, and you're just kind of fucked over by that. So you don't want to end up on the bad end of that. So yeah, I haven't been really going out lately, as you guys can tell. I don't want to go in the subway because I'm afraid of something happening. Um, I'm more afraid like what if something happens and then I don't know what to do because I'm all by myself, and then yeah, I can't expect anybody to help me. And then what? I'm if anything happens to me, some person's gonna film, and I don't want to be one of those people who it's like, you hear people saying like, "Oh, stop that," and then no one gets fucking involved, and then it's like, "Oh, great, you took a video. Great. That's really fucking helpful. Like you took a video, but you didn't, like if you don't feel comfortable intercepting because let's say the person who's attacking is 250 pounds and you're like 120 pounds, like I can understand that, right? But yeah, if you have like a bunch of people, then yeah, it's like let's be honest here, right? If you had one guy who was like 250 pounds and then you had a bunch of people who were like six people or 120 pounds, all 620-pound people can take down that 250-pound guy, right? You just go for basically one arm each. That's it. Okay. But, oh, yeah. So, yeah, the situation really affected how I see New Yorkers. And if anyone asks me like, oh, Erica, what do you think of New York? I would say, if anything happens to you in New York, and you feel like you're gonna die, you better be accepting of your death. Like that sounds so cynical for me to say it, but it's like if you see someone getting attacked, and yeah, just you're probably gonna watch them die. Like no one's gonna step in. It'd just be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, hope they somehow survive. We'll see. Remember that doorman, that one Asian woman who got beat up, and then yeah, the doorman closed the door on her. And I know people would say like, oh well, I was just like, that's how I feel like New Yorkers can be. Like New Yorkers, it's just like not my problem. Not my issue. Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't want to see it. Yeah, okay, someone's dying or someone got seriously injured. Walk past them. I don't want to call the cops. I don't want to get involved. That's going to ruin my day. I want to go grab a frappuccino. It's like, whatever. Another person dies, whatever. Yeah, it's just like, it's very like, I feel like there's lacking some warmth and there's some kind of like lack of human decency here in some people. And I really think criminals run New York. Um, And again, I really do firmly believe it's just going to get worse. There is no there you cannot keep criminals in check if you do not have the people trying to stomp out the criminals. And when you have people see crime that it happens and they don't help out the victim, it enables criminals even more. See? So, yeah. So if anybody is, like Jim, you're very lucky you're in Australia. People are more decent over here. Mega, you're very lucky that you're in Canada. When I freaking my little tropical island in Hawaii, I talk to people and I'm like, "How's Hawaii?" And they're like, "Oh, it's still good, Erica." It's like, yeah, people are a little worried, but it's not like New York level kind of thing. And sometimes people tell me like, "Oh, I heard about what's happening in New York. Oh, it sounds terrible." And I kind of think back and I'm like, "Fuck, this kind of shit happens almost every day." Like, don't like this is not like a one-off kind of incident. Yeah, so New York, it's like wake up and see what kind of shit's happening in the city, and you just see this kind of downward spiral. And that's why I'm a big, very vocal person of telling you guys, like, if anybody has this any idea, like, oh, I want to move to New York, I want it to be like Sex in the City, I want it to be glamorous, like, you are gonna regret moving to New York, okay? 100%. You're gonna wish you moved out of New York. You're gonna wish that you didn't even, you're gonna wish that, like, if you moved here because you had this kind of thinking like it would be glamorous, like you're gonna think like, man, you have a much higher freaking chance of dying in New York, in my opinion, than having like this glamorous lifestyle, especially now. Especially now. It's just, yeah, I just think it's really stressful. It's stressful to like walk down the street and just be on guard, see people look at you a certain way, people you don't even know, to hear in the news that people are getting beat up and people just stand there and they just don't do shit. And again, if anybody thinks I'm being a little too dramatic here, April 16th. Today's April 18th, right? No one came to her aid except a man to be homeless. And yeah, see that? This is becoming. Oh, I swear to God, you guys, I did not write this. Okay, this is becoming too regular in New York. Tough guy has to pick on woman to feel good. What a joke. Good for the homeless man. He's probably been through the same treatment and didn't want to see anyone else. See? Um, the homeless person is more human being than other writers. When a homeless person does more for the general citizen society, this shows how humanity is deteriorating for the worse. Um, Here we go. New Yorkers love to talk tough, but when it comes down to it, the vast majority won't do shit when someone needs help. It's really sad. That is 100% true. Okay, so yeah, whatever you hear in the media talking about, like you can't mess with New Yorkers, you can mess with New Yorkers. You can kill New Yorkers too. No one's gonna stop you. Seriously, no one's gonna stop you at all. Um, yeah. See, so Jim is very fortunate. See that we have visitors who say good things about how friendly. I've gotten more bad looks in freaking New York than I have, like in living here for like 2 years than I have in my entire life in Hawaii. Seriously. I see more grumpy, way more grumpy faces and smiley faces from strangers in New York. Yeah. Yeah, someone's getting mugged. Quick, pull out the cell phone camera and start filming. Yeah. See, that's the thing. See, yeah, when in a civilized place, right, when people are decent to one another, people will say things like, "Oh, people will say, "Hey, someone needs help. Someone fell down. Let me help them up." In New York, it's like, "Oh, you're in trouble? That sucks." Walk right past them. And I know it sounds strange for me to put it this way, especially because of the whole egg situation today. There are some good people, right? I'm not saying that all New Yorkers are bad. I'm saying some people have really, really fucking big hearts, but there are too many people who just don't give a shit about other people. And yeah, it's like yeah, I think about it's just like people. It's like at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of people there's a much less warmth in New York than there is in Hawaii, and I stand by that statement 100%. Um, well, let's see. Yeah. What happened today? Oh, yeah, you gotta rewatch the stream. You can fast forward it like 2 times. I was just talking about the mold issue, how I think that caused my skin issue, and then I'm gonna get mold killer tomorrow. I'm using the antifungal on my arm, and on my chest, and on my leg, seeing hopefully that works. So I'm moving forward, and then I was just ranting about New York. I know someone who visited U.S. and they thought someone would hold the door for them, and the door slammed in their face. Yeah, New York people are just not the most considerate people, okay? And again, if anybody's in New York and you're like, you're wrong, Erico. You know, we're much better than that. And like, if you have manners, like, great. There needs to be more people who are really kind and like a precious jewel. Like, yeah, there are some people like that, but they're just too much shitheads, too much dirt bags over here, too many criminals over here, in my opinion. Too many people who just who who look at a situation and try to like exploit a situation for their own freaking gain. People who will try to screw each other over just so they can get ahead. And it's not, I don't feel like there's really a sense of like strong community here. It's more like, what can I do to, it's just like, yeah, people screw each other over, or it's like they don't give a shit about their neighbor. um, yeah. Oh, I never used the Clinton Pearl toothpaste at all. Um, I never used it. Yeah. I used some whitening toothpaste instead. Yeah, so I never got around to that. I also got this freaking pro enamel thing, but I just said fuck it. I used it like once and I was like, oh. Yeah, but I still floss every day. I brush my teeth twice a day instead. Yeah. So, yeah, just yeah, so I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna go to sleep. Thank you, Monty, for the kind reminder. But again, as someone who lives in New York, please, for for the people who are watching here, please, 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 please do not move to New York. Your quality of life will suffer living in New York. You're gonna wish that if you're in a community where people get along and they have like tight knit communities, you're gonna wish that you stayed in your community. I never realized like how fucking sunny people are in Hawaii compared to New York. You walk down the street in Hawaii, you don't have to worry about things, right? You talk to your neighbors, everybody's friendly. But yeah, here in New York, I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's like this. If you have neighbors in New York, like in a community, even if you've lived there for a while, you don't. Even if the people see you, you might not be welcomed. That's a big difference. Like in Hawaii, like if okay, you see people around, oh okay, you'll be kind of warm to them. You'll be like, oh okay, I noticed this person. Okay, no big fucking deal. But in like where we live and things like that, I feel like an outsider. Most of the time, like huge majority of the time, I feel like I am intruding on another person's space for living here, and it is not. It's like, yeah, you remember like that time where I told you they asked like, oh, what is an Asian doing in the neighborhood kind of thing, and I was like, what the fuck? I was thinking I want to tell that person like, what the fuck? Do you think you own the fucking sidewalk or something? Do you own this fucking thing? Are you so fucking rich that you own the whole block? I don't think so. So, but you can't say that, right? Because if you say that, then that person's gonna get provoked, and then yeah, they're gonna start doing some stupid shit. So yeah, it's like people they don't think about what they say. Um, but in Hawaii, like you wouldn't hear that kind of shit, right? They'd be like, "Oh, okay, have a different neighbor, no big fucking deal, right? Like whatever." But yeah, in New York, I feel like there are certain people who live there for a certain period of time, and they're with their cliques. And if you are a minority, like I'm a fucking minority, okay? Then yeah, they could be like, you're intruding on my block. You're intruding on my sidewalk, my public sidewalk, and yeah, you shouldn't be here. See? Yeah, if you go to Hawaii and like put it this way, if you take a 1 week vacation to Hawaii and then you take a 1 week vacation like Oahu, right? I live in Honolulu, Hawaii. If you go take a 1 week vacation in Honolulu, Hawaii and stay around Honolulu, okay, you're gonna feel like there's people who are nice and the people smile at you, people are warm and friendly, and then you have a 1 week vacation in fucking Brooklyn. Oh yeah, yeah. Tell me how that fucking thing is gonna be. It's gonna be like, oh, what is this? What is this person who doesn't look like us? What are they doing here? Kind of thing. And I'm not saying everybody, but it's just like when you hear those kind of comments, it gets under your skin. And then I just want to like retort back and be like, I know you don't vote on the fucking sidewalk. I know you don't own the fucking neighborhood. So, yeah, what the hell is up with this shit? But people, I feel like some people, it's like if they live in a neighborhood a long time, then they kind of think to themselves, like, this is my neighborhood and I want to control who can live here and things like that. Um, and it's really like that kind of insular kind of thinking. I hate it. I really hate it because it's not warm and welcoming. It's like, yeah, see where I'm getting at? Yeah. Like, yeah, so it's like, yeah, some people, it's like, oh, yeah. Oh my goodness. Thoughts on my beach in Hawaii with the wind in there. Oh, you know what I would like to, I like to close my eyes. Imagine Hawaii with the nice looking out into the ocean, being able to walk out and fucking show my knees, not have to worry about fucking stupid comments. Just walk out with the fucking handbag and not a crossbody, and just walk around in peace. Just it sounds so stupid for me to put it that way, but yeah. And again, if anybody has this idea like, man, we must be living in like the shanty town or something. Like the place where we live, it's a $2,000 studio apartment. Okay, so it's not like we're living in some like, really cheap. You just got the bummiest of the bummiest kind of place to live in. It's like no, it's just. And again, you kind of see this. You see this shit in Manhattan too. In Manhattan, you got places where the rent is like $6,000, $8,000 a month. So living in a rich neighborhood doesn't mean that you're gonna be shielded away from the shit. You see? Yeah. So Jim is very lucky. Land of Australia, land where people are more kinder to one another. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, that would be nice. That would be nice. Just like go off into the ocean and then be like, oh, no one's gonna tell me what the hell. No one's gonna ask me what I'm doing in their neighborhood. That would be nice. I've never had that happen. Here's the thing. When I was in Hawaii, like I know people would say like, "Oh, was everybody Asian in Hawaii?" Like definitely not. But it's like I never hear comments like if you see a white person on the fucking sidewalk, you won't hear people in the neighborhood be all like, "What's a white person doing on my sidewalk?" or something like that, right? Like nobody says that shit. Like Hawaii's such a melting pot. Like yeah, we might have a few white people over there, a few Hispanics or a few black people, but it's like you don't make it the fucking focal point. It's like, oh, okay, we got more diversity. Great. But yeah, it's like fucking here. It's like, oh, look, it's the rare fucking Asian over here that obviously looks like they don't belong in our neighborhood. And I'm not saying it's everybody, but I'm saying that the people who do make these kind of things, they stick out like sore thumbs, and it happens way too often. See, I think melting pots are really beautiful things. Like, before I moved to New York, I always thought like, man, New York is great because it's just like, it's so diverse, it's so multicultural. And I thought like, okay, well, if you got people of all sorts of backgrounds and all over the world coming into New York, shouldn't it be that be like the better Hawaii? False. False. That isn't the case. I find that people just kind of go in their own cliquish groups, and you got like, certain people just kind of hanging out with each other, and then you just kind of stay within your group. And yeah, it's not like one nice mixed smorgasbord of stuff. You see? And it's definitely not like Hawaii number two. Yeah, Clash of the Cultures place. Yeah. Um. So. I know a Canadian who walked in the hood and someone escorted them out. Oh, yeah. If you guys go to Hawaii, you're not gonna have that same stuff like that happen in Hawaii. Okay, it's not gonna happen. It feels ironic that I live you, and it feels how New York City. You know what? I would feel. Here's the thing. In New York City, like I said, you gotta watch your back. Not only just you watching your back, like wherever you live, Al. If someone was in getting beat up by another person, would someone step in? In Hawaii, I know someone would step in, 100%. Shoplifter, someone would step in. But in New York, it's like, I'm gonna watch you die. Like, that's about it. Like, I know that sounds really cynical for me to say, but I feel like, yeah, if someone was getting beat up, people would be like, oh no, we'll call the cops and we'll just watch this person die right in front of us. Like, and then we'll take some video too. Like, yeah, stop, stop. You see, it's kind of like so fucking far removed. And then it's like, I know I'm making New Yorkers sound like really shitty, but it's like, I think sometimes, like, do you guys not have common sense? Like, you got like five guys there. You got one guy over here. They're doing hand-to-hand combat. You can take down. You five guys can take down that one fucking guy, right? But yeah, it's just like people in Hawaii. They have more fucking guts than some fucking New Yorkers. Oh wow, Al watched a mugger get dogpiled by onlookers once. Yeah, in freaking New York, people would just say like, "Oh wow, look, that person's getting robbed. Oh my goodness." Oh, let's take some video. Oh yeah, we're gonna watch this person get actively. You see how fucked up that is? You see how that's really fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. Yeah. So it just shocks me and it bewilders me when I hear about this kind of stuff. But I've turned very cynical about New York. Yeah. So if anybody asks me like, what do you think about New York? I would say, are you from New York? Have you lived somewhere else? Someone told me like, oh, and I know some people. It's like, I know some people in Hawaii. They say before I moved here, right? They were like, oh, I want to live in New York. New York seems like such a great place. And now I'm thinking like, if I went back to Hawaii and I spoke to them, I'd say like, fuck, stay in Hawaii. Like seriously, stay in Hawaii unless you want to like look over your fucking shoulder. Makes me feel cops. You know what the thing is? Like, people are going to give me a lot of shit about this because I know there's some very anti cop people here, especially in New York. Like, they're very anti NYPD. And I refuse to believe that all cops are bad, okay? I think that there are some bad people, bad cops, right? Derek Chauvin, everybody can agree Derek Chauvin was a very bad cop. Nobody is in support of Derek Chauvin, in my opinion. But I refuse to believe that all of NYPD is like Derek Chauvin. I refuse to believe it. And I think that if anybody wants to be a cop, it takes tremendous fortitude because if you're a cop, people will say people will mouth off at you. And I see it. I see people like even today, like people were mouthing off at NYPD. I don't know why they wanted people off the road for some reason, but yeah, people were just mouthing off at them. So if you are a cop, your life is hard, and then people will lump sum you and say, some people might say like, "Oh, yeah, you're NYPD, you're like fucking Derek Chauvin." Yeah, yeah, fuck you, you're Derek Chauvin. Like, yeah, you're all bad, you're all terrible people. It's like, fuck, if just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're fucking Derek Chauvin. But yeah, some people have this stupid fucking thinking where they think like all cops are Derek Chauvin. So flawed because let's be real here. Like, if people need help, right? If people need help, who the fuck are they gonna call if something happens to them, right? They're gonna call the cops. But why call the cops? Like, how you get what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's like you hear about these people who bitch about all fucking cops being like shitheads, and then something happens to them, and then who the fuck did they call? They call the fucking cops. So I feel bad for NYPD. I really do because it's like I don't think, like I said, I don't think NYPD is like perfect or anything like that. I think there's some real shitheads in NYPD, but you got some cops who are probably, good people, a good intention, and it's just they get shit on by the public for just being a cop. It's like people look at the NYPD badge and they're like, "Ah, oh, look, it's fucking Derek Chauvin's left and right." See? Why trust the cops if you don't trust or like the cops? Well, because that's when common sense kicks in, right? Like, who do you feel? Who would you call if something happened to you, right? You can do one of these like stupid, fucking, like, oh, ACAB, like all cops are, da 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 da, and just like graffiti the whole place saying like fuck the cops and kind of stuff. But it's like, yeah, if anything, if your place, if something happened to you and your car got stolen, are you going to call the cops? Most likely you're going to call the cops, right? Um, you know what? The thing is that, like, I think he handled it wrong. That's my personal opinion, based on what I saw. I think that he should have, like that Two Tail guy that, people were screaming at Two Tail, like, why don't you check his pulse? And Two Tail said, like, that's not my job. And I was like, fuck you, Two Tail. Like, what do you mean that's not your job? Like, that's like a basic human decency thing. Like, you're getting paid to be on the clock. Someone asks you to check their pulse. Your partner is on top of them, right? Check the fucking pulse. That's like it's like I'm not asking for too much, right? It's just check the fucking pulse. But he didn't want to do that, and in my opinion, that's a bad cop. Like he has a bad fucking attitude. He should be removed from the force immediately. So I don't like I said, there are definitely bad cops. Just when you have a job, right? You got good coworkers and you got some real fucking shitty coworkers. But that doesn't mean like all your coworkers are bad, right? Just like school teachers, right? You had some good teachers and you had some shitty teachers. But are all teachers bad? No. So it's very flawed to think like all cops are bad because of fucking Derek Chauvin. See? So yeah, it's like I just think like you cannot lump some people like that because if it's very dangerous to do that. So I take things on a case by case basis, right? Derek Chauvin, total shitbag. Tutel, total shitbag. I don't know too much about the other cops, so I can't comment about that. That one guy who seemed like he was a rookie, the oldest one, I forgot his name. Like from what I remember, it's like I felt bad for him because I was like, shit. He asked him like, oh, should we get off? And then his people, the other officers were like, no, no, keep restraining him. So, because he's a rookie, he's like, oh, okay, but for sure, like from what I remember hearing about it, I was like, I didn't think that guy was like fucking Derek Chauvin level at all. Definitely not like Tooth Towel. It's just like he's at the wrong fucking place at the wrong fucking time with the wrong fucking crowd, you know? Yeah, so yeah, and I think that there needs to be more accountability. I think that there needs to be more disciplinary action. I also believe strongly in more training as well. But yeah, it's dangerous when the media says certain things, and then they make it seem like, oh, cops go around just wanting to cause, people, it just wanting to cause bad things. Like I fucking refuse that. At all. So yeah, when a cop comes over, right, to a certain area, people could say like, oh, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna do this to me or something like that? And then it causes people to be more like people to get agitated. Like again today, right? I was walking and then the cops were asking people repeatedly like pull, get off to the side, like don't block, and then people were mouthing off at NYPD, like NYPD, and I'm like, dude, they're just trying to do their job to just clear the fucking road. You don't need to have a fucking attitude about it. But yeah, New York, right? It's like, oh, I'm gonna yell loud and say fuck NYPD because it's a cool thing to do. It's like, fuck. You see? So when people are just like, yeah, and then I hear about this stupid shit too. Okay, and I know I'm gonna piss people off talking about this. Okay, so I hear about people. I see these signs around the neighborhood. Okay, oh, if immigration comes over and they want, if immigration is in the area, like please tell other people so the people who want to get away from ICE or something like that, they have a chance to flee. And I'm like, dude, if ICE wants to go, if ICE is in the neighborhood, you shouldn't just like tell everybody like, oh, I just saw an ICE truck or something like that, right? Like, fuck, just let them be. But yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, well, police are bad, ICE is bad, immigration is bad. I'm like, these people have a job to do. It's not like yeah, but it's just like it's like that kind of fucking policy or that kind of mentality. It's like, oh, we always got to like get away from the cops, or we always got to like if enforcement is coming in, like we got to make sure that anybody who's breaking the law like has the time to flee. You see? So I'm just like, fuck that too. So that's another thing too. So I don't follow that kind of mentality where it's like, oh yeah, if for whatever reason, right, ICE wants to come and do a raid, like yeah, tell everybody like ICE is in the neighborhood, so that way the person who might get raided knows. See? Yeah, of course we need good apples. Everybody hopes that they have good cops out there. But I definitely do think there needs to be more training. I do think there needs to be more oversight. But most importantly, I don't think people are in a rush to join the police departments because of all the shit that's going on toward police departments. 100%. Like, if I knew a police officer right now in NYPD, I'd feel bad for them. I'd be like, shit. You know, you walk down the street and people look at you with such fucking animosity, and then they could say like "fuck you," you know, that kind of stuff. It's just, well, here's the thing. So dirty asses, like, you know, people just don't like the idea of police or government stepping in. So it's like, oh, someone wants to take someone away. Oh yeah, fuck those people. Yeah, let people escape because fuck those agencies trying to like corral people. It's like, okay, so what? Oh, what if ICE is there for a freaking good, valid reason, but you're just saying like, oh, freaking ICE is bad, right? It's like, okay, that's some really fucking small brain thinking over here. Yeah, you don't want to find out that yeah, there's some dangerous person out there, and ICE wants to get on top of them or arrest them, and then everyone's like, oh my gosh, we just saw an ICE vehicle or something like that. Oh, let's tell everybody. So yeah, it's just there's just so much fucked up shit with New York. Yeah, and I don't see a lot of this stuff in frickin' Hawaii. Like again, I know people give shit about Hawaii, but Hawaii, it's like it's the aloha state. People watch out for each other. We don't got the HPD. In case you guys want to look up Honolulu Police Department, okay, let me show you guys this. Okay, this basically sums up Honolulu Police Department. Like I come across like some Honolulu Police Department officers. They're basically like this. Okay, where is it? Okay, here's the body camera footage. I never watched this one. Oh crap, the new Uano. I didn't watch that one. Okay, look at this. I know people are gonna get pissed off, but I'm gonna show a really small clip.
Yeah, we get it. Here's our video.
Honolulu Police Department. This is where I'm from. See, our cops are actually friendly. No, they're actually genuinely nice people. The cops that I have met, they're genuinely nice people. What we're about to say. See, we're on a mission. So this is Waikiki. Trying to find a way. You notice like the background people, you see how it's like you don't see any anti-police people or anything like that. It's like everybody knows like these people are people who live and work in the fucking neighborhood. Yeah, these are not your enemies. These are probably like your neighbors. In fact, I've said on stream I give shit to HPD sometimes because I think like, man, you're lucky that the criminals in Hawaii aren't that bad because it's like some of these police officers in Hawaii, they just look so friendly. It's like, yeah, they look so friendly that they would not fly in New York, seriously. Now, I will say we do have asshole cops, but in my opinion, I haven't come across one, but I have heard of them existing. Just like anything, right? See, look. See, you can tell like people do not fear the cops in Hawaii. Seriously. Look, you got random people, you got tourists all, kind of getting into this thing. Try do this in New York. Haha, never gonna happen. No way.
Spread a little aloha around the world. Could you imagine?
Look at this. You got the elderly on the frickin' left who are just, regular people, it looks like, in Chinatown, dancing next to police officers.
All around the world, a little aloha in every boy and girl.
See, you see this Asian guy over here? He does not look intimidating, okay? I'm gonna be honest here, he looks very friendly, happy-go-lucky kind of guy. You don't see this kind of look in NYPD. Seriously.
Could you imagine how
I think Honolulu police officers, like some of them look really friendly and they're really good people. So yeah, the criminals here would just have a field day with them.
with a little aloha in you and me? Let's spread a little bit of aloha. Put a little love in your heart.
So maybe you guys have more of an understanding why I refuse to be anti-police, because it's like I come from an island where, yeah, it's like people get along.
Take a little dip in the ocean. Oh yeah, uh-huh. Singing A-L-O-H-A, a little aloha in our name. Spread a little aloha around the world. A-L-O-H-A, a little aloha in our name. Spread a little aloha around the world.
Oh, by the way, look at these happy people dancing in the back. See that? See those genuine looking smiles?
We interrupt this song for a very important announcement.
And yes, I do know this is a lip sync challenge.
Aloha means hello, and aloha means goodbye, and aloha means I love you, and I wanna take it higher. I wanna get high with a little aloha. I can touch the sky with a little aloha. Aloha. Spread a little bit of aloha. Put a little love.
Oh my goodness, I miss seeing this stuff. I mean, people don't do this, randomly in Hawaii, but seriously, this fire dancing stuff, you don't see this shit in New York. Oh look, there's the wonderful beach. Yeah, but again, can you see any New Yorkers dancing happily with frickin' NYPD? No. No. Yeah, so you guys get the idea over here, right? So this is why you don't see me being all anti cop in New York. I will never be anti cop. When people like talk about how shitty cops are or how all cops are bad, I'm like, go to Hawaii. You'll see how the cops are over there. They're not assholes or anything like that. And when I hear people mouth off to NYPD, it's just like people doing their fucking job and they just insult NYPD. I feel bad because it's like, Yeah, I would just see like an officer not doing stuff, and then some people would just like mouth off to them. I'm like, fuck, that must be really hard, right? So, yeah. Oh, what volcanoes? Um, See this? So Killer said, see, they're all genuine people and they don't look incriminating unless you did something. See, that's exactly the same mentality that I have. Like, I feel like what people need to understand is like not all cops are like Derek Chauvin, right? These people have family, they have kids, they want to get home safely. But it's like when people come at them in an aggressive manner, then yeah, they can be more prone to being aggressive out of the blue because that they're anticipating people be aggressive to them. But yeah, freaking Hawaii, it's like, yeah, see how nice and carefree our cops look? Is this a no? It's a freaking lip sync challenge. Yeah. No, 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 no. Here's the other thing too. You might say like this is just a video. I lived in Hawaii for like 30 years, okay? I actually dated two people. One of them actually became a cop, and then after we dated, right? And then there was another one who, when I was dating him, he went into the police academy. So I knew him, and I still talk to this person. It's like he didn't get into the police academy because he was like a terrible person or anything. It's like I used to make fun of him, like, you're a little too soft, It's like, who the hell would be scared of you? But yeah, and if you talk to Honolulu Police Department officers, especially like the new recruits, you'll kind of like they're kind of awkward. Awkward? No, 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 not in like a they're just like awkward in a shy way. It's kind of refreshing. So yeah, I don't have anything against cops. Yeah, and if anybody feels like all cops are aggressive, like go to freaking Hawaii, and they're not like that. Yeah, yeah, so I can tell you from personal experience, like not all cops are bad. Seriously. Ooh, let's look at the flash mob in Sydney. Let's look at this. So, Susan Ballard, I don't know what happened to her, but she just recently stepped down. That was our old police chief. What is this? Oh, 2015. Man, look at that. No social distancing. Oh my gosh, it's a flash dance. Man, this is so beautiful. Look at the background, you guys. Fuck. Have you guys ever seen the streams that I do around New York? Like this looks so much more beautiful than the fucking littered streets of Brooklyn. We got some mean litter bugs in New York. I don't see freaking trash on this. Something tells me that the people over here don't have to watch where they're going when they're out in public, or aggressive people near them. It's so carefree. It's almost fucking foreign to me. Shit. Not gonna lie, this video makes me so envious of Australia. Yay. I know. Wow. I'm so envious there's no litter. There's not. I don't even see trash in the freaking ocean. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful and sunny. Oh, look at that. Very clean. Oh. Oh. Room 101, what country are you from? Wow. You know what the problem is? I don't want to get too political over here, but I'm gonna just tell you my thoughts about this. I think that yeah, when you have militarized police departments, people get aggressive. Especially when you have like a see for instance, right? If you live on freaking in freaking Hawaii, right? You technically most likely you know the person who's a cop. Like maybe they're your cousin's friend's brother or something like that. Because, you know, there's only so much people on a freaking tiny island like Honolulu, Hawaii. So it's like you have this genuine awareness like, hey, maybe this person is like, you know, lived here a really long time. But in New York, there's so many people coming and going. And then I feel like, yeah, because it's like land of people coming in, of people going out, that sometimes like people, you know, funnel out and then you end up with some freaking criminals who stay in New York. And then, you know, some people do some bad things and they're very violent. And then NYPD steps it up And then people see that, and then they're like, oh, look at NYPD trying to boss people around. And then it turns into this whole fucking movement where people are like, fuck the police. Yeah, screw the police. And then people think it's all hip and cool to be like anti police. Like, yeah, screw government, screw police. We don't need them. Yeah, fuck them all. And then, yeah, so it's like kind of out of touch. Like, they don't see police officers as human beings versus in Hawaii when you live um, around if you live in a small little island you can say like yeah that person's a genuine human being who has a family you have that sense of connection but in New York I think sometimes it's like people they don't recognize them or they just think like oh these are power hungry individuals because we hear on the news that police are power hungry Derek Chauvin so yeah just get rid of them all that kind of stuff so um, I think that it's not smart to see police as like the enemy. Like, yeah, I know some people. It's just like they don't they think the police are evil, and I don't believe that at all. The whole F the police kind of thing. I don't believe that 100%. So I don't understand it like when people are like, yeah, screw the police and then they grab out some graffiti and they write all over the fucking place like fuck the police, fuck the police, fuck the police and it's like, do you not understand that if you write that kind of stuff, you're a criminal? Um People deface things just to write that kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, what is that supposed to make you more legitimate for writing this stuff, tagging this stuff? Like, no, it makes you look like a fucking idiot. It makes you look like a fucking child for just graffitiing this like all over the fucking place. See? Like I have no problem with people protesting or people saying things, but when it's people defacing bridges and all this like stuff, fences, bridges, sidewalks with graffiti, I draw the line there. But I'm supposed to think that those people are more honorable than the police, right? That's the thing. That's the thing that I don't like. I think that it's not just like they're taught to intimidate and be a hard ass. I think sometimes it's like they come across people who are just escalating things with them. Like in New York, I think like if you have to be kind of like you have to have really thick skin because people are inclined to naturally hate NYPD and it sucks because it's like I've come across some NYPD officers, and yeah, I don't they just do their job, and then there are some of them they just keep kind of keep quiet. And you remember when I went to a police department? It's like I spoke to them, and it's like I didn't pick up any freaking like oh this is a terrible human being. I just saw it's like this person this is their job. They don't want to cause any trouble. They want to get home safely, and yeah, but if and I know people are gonna give me crap about this, but the other thing I don't understand is this. It's like you get pissed off at the police, and then what the fuck do? You're like, oh okay, yeah, let me just write all this stuff all over the freaking community. It's like what? Okay, like what does that accomplish, right? I don't understand it. Or if it's like some people, it's like they get so pissed off they start like it's like they just start taking things out on the police. It's like, what? Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know about the quota system and everything, but yeah, again, I'm not so I'm not anti-police. I'm gonna be yeah. I mean, like I said, I hope Chauvin is, from what I hear, I hope Chauvin is, he does, you know, serve time for that. And he does pay for his crime. I can't tell you what the appropriate sentence is because I don't know how they figure that kind of stuff up. But I think what he did was extremely wrong, and yeah, I didn't follow the case, so I can't tell you my full thoughts about it. I just saw like snippets of it because it was like freaking long, right? Let me see this. I'm gonna wait to see if anybody gets beat up on this. Oh, look at that. Wow, people actually sit like that? Dang. I mean, those seats look way more comfortable than the New York seats. Actually, it's padding. Yeah, that's a lot different than New York subway. You get asked for money on the New York subway, or people get beat up on the subway cars. Basically, when you're in the New York subway car, this is what you do. You don't make eye contact with people. You keep to yourself and you don't make noise. Oh, look at, do you see that Asian woman over here with the scarf? She didn't even smile once. Oh, man. I thought this was great. Look at the Asian woman with the scarf. See this woman? You see the woman with the pink scarf right behind the guy with the green hat? Look, she's not even smiling. Oh, man. She should have smiled. Okay. I don't know. I have no idea what the sentence is for that gonna be. But I don't think he's gonna get away scot free. I don't know what was gonna be deemed, but yeah, I really don't think he's gonna get scot. If he gets away scot free, I'll be surprised. But then I gotta look back and see what the court case was, because I know they've been doing it for a couple of days, but I just haven't been following it. Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna get going to sleep, you guys. 4:44 a.m., which is a fucking bad luck number, but I enjoyed talking to you guys. I'm happy that I got to talk to you, Jim, for instance. I know sometimes it's like sometimes I do these streams and it's like the fucking time zone is all like all over the place. So yeah, I should be up probably within the next 5 hours. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Who knows? The court case he lost. Really? No, I don't think they had a verdict for the Chauvin case, right? Let's check. Let's see, Derek Chauvin case. Yeah, see, they did the. Yeah, there's. I don't know. The closing arguments is coming up soon. Did he even testify? I have no idea. If he did, like I said, I haven't been following this very much. It's like I watched like maybe the first 2 days. Oh, he didn't. He didn't take the stand. He should have taken the stand, but really, his worst defense. What was his defense? Oh, invoking the Fifth Amendment. I don't know. I have no idea what his offense was. Okay, so see the people over here. See, so this is all just my opinion. So if I remember correctly, so you got the Chauvin guy, Derek Chauvin. You got Tutel, and then I forgot the guy second from the right, and then you got that other guy. You see the guy on the far right. I don't. I From what I remember, I felt really bad for the guy on the far right because he was a rookie cop. So he questioned about the whole thing if that was right or not, and he was told it was okay. And look, he got lumped up with the freaking other guys. But Tutel, absolute freaking scumbag. Oh my gosh. If you guys see that clip of Tutel, it makes your blood boil. Of course, Derek Chauvin is a scumbag too, but my freaking Tutel's up there with freaking Chauvin. I can't talk about the guy second from the right because I don't remember anything about him specifically. But what? Carbon monoxide poisoning? What the fuck is that? um, that was his defense. Seriously, this is the first time I'm hearing about his defense. Oh gosh. If that's really the defense, oh gosh, fuck. That means what? Like, that means people will. I refuse to believe that. We'll see. We'll see. Oh my god. What? I don't know if Two Towels has a sentence yet, but I hope fucking Two Towels chauvin's convicted for sure. I hope Chauvin's convicted, Two Towels convicted. I can't talk much about the third guy. I would actually put leniency on the freaking guy on the far right because I felt bad for him. I really don't. He didn't seem like he was like freaking malicious like Chauvin and Two Towel. So I would give leniency on that guy, but yeah. Bad training and overdose. Okay. Yeah, I heard about the overdose thing. I didn't remember the bad training. Oh, really? Oh, I'm going to look into the Chauvin case. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Whatever happens, yeah, it'll be one thing. If he's fucking acquitted, it's gonna be terrible. That's all I'm gonna say. And I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I have no fucking filter at 4:50 a.m. But did you guys ever notice when people like if people decide to like protest or riot, they seem to go after Target, Target the freaking store. I never understood that. Like you're pissed off about something that happened. Why are you destroying Target? Target the store. It's kind of like CVS, but Target becomes a Target. If something, if he gets acquitted or people aren't happy with it, whatever the verdict is, I really hope Target chain stores. Here, let me show you guys this. Target, or Target, should I say. I really hope Target doesn't get freaking destroyed, because, yeah, Target, yeah, it's just, I don't know what it is. Yes, see this stuff? See this? Yeah, but I feel like whenever people get pissed off about certain things like the police do or something, they always go after fucking Target. So if the Chauvin case doesn't turn out right, then hopefully Target doesn't become a target. But if it does, I'll let you guys know. I'll be like, fuck, here Target comes again. Target gets screwed. I mean, like, look, if someone wants to go after another store, like, please just don't fucking attack the Target. Attack, CVS or something instead, or Dwayne Reed or something. I feel bad for all the Target employees because it's like you hear about the Target store getting targeted, and yeah, it makes me laugh, but it makes me feel bad for the employees. That's all I'm trying to say. So I will talk to you guys later. 4:50 a.m. And but yeah, if Target store does get damaged over something police related, then I'm just gonna I'll share the article with you guys. I'll be like, oh fuck, Target got targeted again. Let's see over here. Ah. I don't know, some people said he died of. Oh my god. Oh, I gotta follow up what the fucking doctor said. I remember they said like, yeah, they didn't feel like it was an overdose. They felt like he died from asphyxiation or something like that. But yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, so ah, okay, you guys, it was great talking to you. I really gotta get going to sleep.